In a world trained to scroll until the soul goes numb, when you decide not to, that tiny act is not small. It's psychological resistance. There's a moment that doesn't look dramatic from the outside. You're lying in bed, phone in hand, thumb hovering above the screen. You could open the app. You could fall into the endless stream of outrage, drama, jokes, pain, and half-truths. But you don't. You lock the phone. You put it down. You sit with yourself instead of with the feed.
We talk a lot about the people who can't stop scrolling. The ones who stay up until 3 a.m. lost in a rabbit hole of videos, threads, and headlines. But almost no one talks about the people who don't doom scroll. The ones who close the app after a few minutes. The ones who never read the comments. The ones who say, "That's enough for today," and actually mean it. At first glance, it looks like discipline. And yes, sometimes it is. But beneath that discipline, there's an entire inner world shaping their relationship with the infinite feed. Because doom scrolling isn't really about news or information. It's about nervous systems trying to regulate themselves with stimulation. It's about fear and compulsion, about needing to feel in control by constantly checking what's going wrong. So when someone doesn't doom scroll, it isn't because they're stronger. It's because their minds has built a different deal with discomfort.
People who don't doom scroll have usually discovered something the rest of us are still learning the hard way. The feed will never tell you, "That's enough. You're safe now." It's designed to keep you watching. So they learn to become their own stopping point. Some of them got there through burnout. They remember the nights they stayed up reading about disasters they couldn't change. They remember how their chests stayed tight for hours after closing the app. They remember the mornings where their first thought wasn't their own life, but whatever catastrophe was trending. At some point, their body said, "No more." Anxiety stopped feeling like awareness and started feeling like poison. So they pulled back. Not because they don't care about the world, but because their nervous system refused to be a battlefield every night. Others arrived there from a different path. Deep introspection. They notice how they feel after 30 minutes of bad news. Restless, helpless, vaguely angry at everything. They realize that doom scrolling doesn't leave them more informed, just more exhausted. They start asking quiet questions. Is this making my life better? Can I do anything about this right now? If not, why am I sacrificing my peace to consume it? That habit, questioning their urges before obeying them, is a core psychological trait of people who don't doom scroll. It's called metacognition, thinking about your own thinking. They don't just react. They notice the reaction. They watch the urge rise, open the app, just check, just one more video, and instead of obeying, they study it. That tiny gap between impulse and action is where their freedom lives. Then there are the quiet rebels, the ones who see how the internet turns every tragedy into a trending topic and every fear into content. They recognize that attention is a currency, and they are done handing it out for free. They choose carefully what they feed their mind, the way someone recovering from illness chooses carefully what they feed their body. For them, not doom scrolling isn't just self-care, it's protest. It's their way of saying, "My focus is not for sale." Psychologically, many of these people share a trait called an internal locus of control. They believe that what they do with their time and energy actually matters. If they can't change a situation, they won't marinate in it endlessly. Instead, they redirect that energy toward what they can touch: their work, their relationships, their habits, their immediate community. They're not less empathic, they're more protective of where their empathy goes. And here's the paradox. The people who don't doom scroll are often just as informed as everyone else, sometimes more. They don't consume information constantly. They consume it intentionally. They choose a few trusted sources, they check them at specific times, then they step away and live their actual life,